Hello everyone, this is Lamid Sane of LS Web Apps, and in this tutorial video we're going to be having a look at the jQuery Document Ready and other things related to it. So I just have a simple boilerplate template here, and as usual we have a JavaScript folder with jQuery included and main.js, and we have an index.html page which we're going to be working with. Okay, so what we're going to be covering in this tutorial video are three things. The first is jQuery Document Ready and the different ways that you could write it, so that you get familiar with the different ways and know that they all mean the same. And secondly, we're going to be having a look at document load function that jQuery provides you, and it's different from the Document Ready as well. And the third one is we're going to be having a look at abbreviated SIF, which means self-invoking function, which is very popular in the JavaScript community, but sort of trips people as to when to use it and what it is actually. So let's get started. First, the document.ready. Okay, so let's go in our main.js file, and actually write a document.ready example. So usually in jQuery, when you're starting to write your code, you just do a document.ready like this. And inside the ready function, you pass in another anonymous function, and then you load something. You write some code there. So in this instance, let's actually, when the document is ready, let's take this p element, which is empty right now, and actually put some text inside it. So let's go in our main.js file. So we're going to target the p element, and we set its HTML property to document is ready. So when I save that, automatically the browser window here refreshes itself, and when the document is ready, the p element has the text document is ready. And when I refresh that, as you can see, instantly as the document is ready, that gets populated. Okay, so the second way to write this, which means the same, is to say, just take the jQuery sign here and just pass it directly an anonymous function like this. And when we say select the p element again and say p.html document is ready, this all means the same as this first code here. So when I save this and I refresh the browser, we get the same thing. Okay, so the third way of doing a document.ready in jQuery is to just call the empty jQuery $sign like this, and just call the function .ready directly on it like this. Sorry. Okay, and then let's just copy this code right here, just paste it in here, and this also produces the same result. When I refresh the browser, we have the same thing. So you might be asking, why all these ways of doing this? Well, basically jQuery just provides us the API to do things in different ways, and we are free to choose whichever we want. But on the jQuery website, it does say that this third method, which I am highlighting here, is not recommended. I'm not sure why it says it's not recommended, but it does highlight that there. So I would advise you to use either this one or this one. But normally this first method that we have had a look here is the most popular one, and I would recommend that if you were to choose one, just choose that one. But if you didn't have a choice, or you see this one, just know that it means the same as this other two. Okay, so that's it for document ready. So next, let's move to document load. It goes with the syntax of something like this. So let's say document.load, and then we do something, pass it a function, and let's say same as p.html element has loaded. Okay, so normally the document.load, you can't do much with it because for some reason it doesn't work when you call it on the document itself. So how will this be different? Document.load be different from document.ready. So let's say you have an image tag that takes a long while to load. It wouldn't be wise to you wouldn't be able to it wouldn't be wise to use the document ready on that image, because when the document loads initially, that doesn't mean everything inside the document has been loaded. So let me give you an example. We'll use an iframe, for example. Okay, so let's just comment this out for now, and I'll go in the index.html here, and we'll say iframe. So the source of the iframe, let's set it to my website, www.lswebapps.com. okay, all right, so http lswebapps.com. so that seems about right. So let's refresh this page right here. Now, as you can see, the page took a while to load. So if we uncomment this code out here that does the document.ready part, this stuff here that populates the p tag with document is ready automatically gets populated even before the iframe loads. So let me show you what I mean. So when we refresh this, even before the iframe finishes loading, this document ready will trigger. So let me just do that. As you can see, iframe is loading, but this is done already. So you cannot use this document ready to target stuff that takes a long while to load. If you want to target, let's say, when the iframe finishes loading, you have to use the document load. So let's uncomment this out, and let's just uncomment this one. And instead of targeting document, let's target iframe now. So now what we're saying is, when the iframe finishes loading, now take the p tag and actually set its HTML to element has loaded. So we save that, and as you can see, iframe is taking a while to load. So when iframe finishes, then the p tag is being populated. Okay, so get the difference. The document.load is for elements that take a long while to load, and the document ready is just when the HTML elements actually have been loaded. Okay, so the third thing that we're going to be looking at is self-invoking functions, and it's abbreviated as SIF sometimes, but just for sake of clarity, let's just say self-invoking function, and it's spelled as self-invoking functions. Okay, and basically that is when you see something like this in JavaScript, and this has nothing to do with jQuery, but it's usually associated with it for some reason. So you get something like this. So basically what this means is, when this script has been loaded, this main.js instantly execute what's inside this code, and you can put a document.ready inside of this like this, and then pass it an anonymous function. But normally this is not why you want to use this function, self-invoking function here. And usually self-invoking functions are used because, for example, let's say you have another script which is different from jQuery that uses the $. So jQuery, you cannot use that $, again for jQuery, because that script has already taken control of the $. So you want to make sure that jQuery also has access to the $. So what you do is you write this self-invoking function here, and then inside this function call here, you pass in the jQuery namespace like this. So this one is always going to be available to jQuery, and then inside the parameter acceptor here, you just pass in the $. So now what this is saying is, take this jQuery namespace here and assign it to this $. So inside this self-invoking function, the $, will be meaning jQuery, but outside of it, it will mean any other script that has control of it. So that's one of the reasons why people use the self-invoking functions. And the other thing is to make sure that your variables are outside the global scope. So when you say var my variable, so this variable here, because it's not being wrapped around any function, it is available in the global scope, and it's always a bad thing to be programming in the global scope. So normally what people do is they take this and put it inside a self-invoking function. So even without the document.ready, this is one other reason why people use self-invoking functions. So now anything outside of this self-invoking function does not have access to my variable, so it is protected from the outside world. So that is one of the second reason why people use self-invoking function. So that's it for this tutorial, guys. That's all I wanted to clear up, and I hope this was useful. And if you found it useful and informative, please help share it and rate and comment and subscribe. So thanks for watching this video. I'll see you soon on YouTube. Cheers. Bye bye.